Hi guys, today we're doing 13.3, okay? Got my pretzel squares back here. Basically, what we're doing today is finding the area of two rectangles when they're beside each other, okay? So if I asked you what the area of this rectangle right here is, I'm asking you how many units, how many squares, how many pretzels does it take to cover my, let's call it my yard, okay? How many units does it take? It takes 6 square units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So that part of my yard takes 6 square units. Okay? Now I'm going to put a little addition on my yard over here. Okay? I'm going to put these right here. Okay? So now I put another part of my yard on. Let's say like this is my backyard at first, and then I added this part on. Okay? So we call this combined rectangles area of combined rectangles. I had this rectangle, and then I added this rectangle, and what's their area together or combined, okay? The area of this part was 6 units. The area of this part here that you can see now is 4 units, okay? 6 units and 4 units is 10 units, right? Okay. If we couldn't see the individual units like this, like when you have grids like this part right here, this yellow one, it's really easy because you can literally count them. Okay. But when we have problems like this rose garden right here, there aren't squares in there for us to count, so we have to multiply. Okay. Does that make sense to you? So I'm going to take my pretzel squares right now. I'm going to move them away. We're going to work on what's in the book, okay? But don't forget about my pretzel squares there, okay? It says, Jan is visiting a botanical garden with her family. The diagram shows 2 rectangular sections of the garden. What is the total area? Okay, so we need to find the area of one, the area of the other, and find the total, meaning add them together, okay? Let's look at this rose garden up here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it up close. Okay, look at the 2 sections. They've taken it and they've split it apart right here, okay? A lot of times you are going to have to do that, okay? You will have to do the splitting, and there's different ways that you could split it, okay? But no matter what, you should come up with the same answer, okay? So the top part of this rose garden up here has a base right here on this side of 8 meters, okay? The height is on this side is 3 meters. Okay, so if I'm just looking at this top part up here, it'd be 8 times 3 is 24 meters, right? So this part of the rose garden, or of the garden, is 24 meters squared. Don't forget that little 2. This part up here is 24 meters squared. Where this gets a little bit confusing, boys and girls, is because there's a 7 over here. Okay, I cannot use that 7 because that 7 is from here to here, okay? And that goes for, it's on the rose garden and the herb garden, okay? I only want the rose garden up here, which is 3, and the herb garden down here, okay? So if I'm trying to figure out the rose garden, I cannot use this 7, okay? I need to use the base and the height, okay? This number over here is just an extra number that I don't really need. Okay, now let's look at my herb garden right here. Okay, the base on my herb garden, let me get a different color here. The base on my herb garden is 4 meters right here. And my height is 4 meters right here. Okay, how do I know that? Because right here it says 4 meters and it points to this side and that side. Okay, it's telling me both of them. Why do they have so many numbers around here? Okay, why do they have so many numbers I don't need? Okay, if this were perimeter, we would need every single one of those numbers. Okay, that's why. Okay, and they're going to keep the same numbers for both of them there because eventually we'll be figuring out perimeter and area. Okay, today's just area. But just this herb garden has a base of 4 meters and a height of 4 meters because it's pointing right to there. So what is 4 times 4 would be 16 meters squared. Okay, I still haven't found my answer. It asked for the total area. Let me zoom back out. Okay, it asked for the total area. So if the rose garden is 24 meters squared and the herb garden is 16, meters squared, what is the total area? Means I need to put those two numbers together, 24 and 16. I'm going to add them up. It would take me 24 pretzel squares to cover this if those were meters, and 16 to cover this. So I need to figure out what 24 plus 16 is so I can find the total area, right? 4 plus 6 is 10. That'd be 4. So the total area would be 40 meters squared. Okay? All right. Another way you can do it that they want to show you, like I told you earlier, is if it's in grids, if you can see all the little squares, you can literally count them. Okay? So I'm going to go across this first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? 8. I know 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Hey, that's the same thing we got up there. Okay, 8 times 1, 2, 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 1 square equals 1 square meter. Meters squared. Okay, count these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Or you go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 16 meters squared. The same exact thing we found up here. It should be. Okay. The area of the rose garden is 24 square meters, which is the same thing as doing this. And the herb garden is 16 square meters. Add the areas. 24 plus 16 equals 40 square meters. Okay. Another way that you could do it is to use the area formula, base times height. That's what we did up here. Okay. The rose garden, the base was 8. Remember up here? The base is 8 right here. Oops, you can't see that yet. The base is 8 and the height is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. What about the herb garden? The base was 4. The height was 4. 4 times 4 is 16 square meters. Okay, and we add those up. 24 plus 16 equals 40. So the total area is 40 square meters. Sorry. Okay, go ahead and pause it and fill that in. This way down here is the same way that I did up here with you, the very, very top. Okay, we just did it before they gave us the formula. We already knew the formula is base times height. Base times height equals area, right? Okay, flipping to the next page. Okay, they're just giving you more examples. Okay, Greg is laying carpet. Remember we talked about flooring is a clue word for them using area. Laying carpet in the space outside his laundry room. The diagram shows where the carpet will be installed. The space is made of combined rectangles. What is the area of the carpeted space? Okay, I'm going to be sure you guys are using a pencil. I'm going to pull out my trusty pencil over here. Okay, we need to somehow split these rectangles. Okay, boys and girls, there's options here. Okay, I think it makes most sense to draw my split right across here. Okay, but it can be done by drawing your split across this way. You might try to find base times height this way and go, ooh, actually that'd be easier the other way. Then just switch it and do the other way. Both of them should find the same answer. Okay. All right. So I put my split right here. Now let's look at the little rectangle right here. Okay. What is my base of this little rectangle? My base would be this number right here. What is that base? Okay. There's no number right here. There's a 24. Ooh, but be careful. That 24 goes from here to here. That's not just this one little purple base right here. That's the whole side. Okay. So I don't want to use that 24 because that's this whole big long side. That's not this little part right here. Okay. If this is 9, the little part can't be 24. Doesn't make sense. Okay. So what is that little purple part right there? Well, look up here. This says 8 feet is right here. If this is 8 feet and it's a rectangle, then this down here is 8 feet, isn't it? Okay, the base can be the top or the base can be the bottom. Okay, so if this is 8 feet, just this little part right here is 8 feet, and my height is 9 feet, right? So in this little rectangle, it's 8 times 9. What's 8 times 9? 72, right? 8 times 9 is 72 feet squared, okay? In that little rectangle. Okay, now let's look at this other rectangle over here. Sometimes it's easier to cover it up. Okay, again, this 24 goes this whole base down here. I don't want that. Okay, I only want this part right here. Oops. What is this part right here? We'll look up here. If this part is 16 feet, that means this part's 16 feet. Okay, so we're going to use this number as my base. So 16, and my height is 17, right? So I need to do 16 times 17 to find the area of this space in here. Okay, we're going to have to put that out here off to the side, turtle head. 16 times 17. Why don't you pause me, do it on your own, and come back and see if we get the same answer. Okay, 6 times 7 is 42. 2 stays, 4 goes up. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 more is 11. Okay, I've got my first row done now. Cross off carried numbers, draw a collar, lay an egg. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, I've got my two partial products. I'm going to add them up. Okay, so just this rectangle right here is 272, feet squared. It's all right, just outside there. Okay, I'm not done yet. Okay, I have to find the total area now. I need to put them together. Okay, so I'm going to find 272 plus, that's ironic, 72. 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 plus 7 is 14. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so my total area would be 344 feet squared. Okay, now let's just fill in the information that they have with the work we already did. Okay, rectangle A, which you can see they split right here, is the little one. Okay, the base was 8. The height was 9. So 8 times 9, we figured out, is 72. Okay, rectangle B, the base was 16, and the height was 17. What was 16 times 17? We just did it up here. Okay, was 272. Okay, now we need to add those two areas together, 72 and 272. We just did that, right? Equals 344 square feet. Okay, it's right there for you. Okay, that is the easiest way to do it, boys and girls. That way will work every time. Find the area of this, find the area of that. Okay, there is another way to do it with subtraction. Don't let this confuse you. Okay, this is just an optional other way. Okay, if you just want to listen to this, that's fine. Everybody listen to it. Okay, but usually I want you to do it that first way we just did with addition. Okay, they're telling you, let's just imagine like this is one whole rectangle. Okay, let's just imagine that it is, what would this whole big rectangle, this whole length be? Is it 9? No, it's not 9. 9 is just from here to here. Okay, 9 is from here to here. That's 9. What's this whole side? Look over here. The whole height is 17. Okay, what's the whole base? Look, I see a 24 right here. There's a 16. The 16 is only this part right here, right? So my whole base is 24. So one way to do it is to find 24 times 17. Turtle head. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 2, ouch, is 14. 15, 16. Cross off carried numbers, draw a collar, lay an egg. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. Add my partial products. Okay, 408. Now 408 is if this were all one big rectangle. Now I have to subtract out this part that I didn't have in the first place. Okay, I have to subtract that out. So if I were just finding that little piece right here, the white piece, the piece with the X on it, okay, if you look up here, okay, this side is, let me get a different color. Start to look confusing. This side right here is 8. See my arrow right here? And this side right here is 8. Okay, what's 8 times 8? 64. So I need to take this 408 down here and subtract 64, and that will give me the area of just this yellow part. Okay, 8 minus 4 is 4. 0 minus 6, can't do it. Make the 4 into a 3, so the 0 can become a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 3 minus nothing is 3. So just this yellow part right here is 344 feet squared. Okay, this way is a little bit more confusing in my head, but for some kids it makes sense. Okay, so again, the area of the whole space was 24 times 17, which we found out is 408. Okay, the area of the missing section, the part we got rid of, was 8 times 8 equals 64. And then we found the difference. We subtracted them. 408 minus 64 is 344 square feet. We got the same thing as up here. See that? We got the same answer both ways. Okay, you should get the same answer both ways. If you do it one way and your friend does it the subtraction way, you should get the same answer if your math is right. Okay? All right, we're going to skip the is there another way? Okay? It's just telling you, it's trying to show you right here that if you wanted, you could have split the shape right here and done this long rectangle and then this one up here. Okay, there's always 2 ways to do it. Okay, both ways should get you the same answer. Okay, share and show. Explain how to find the total area of the figure. When it gets the grids like this, it's easy. You can just count them. Okay, it's like an array in 3rd grade. Is that blurry? A little bit, I guess. Okay, count them. Put dots in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, which makes sense, right? 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, so I'm going to put a 14 in here, nice and big. I shouldn't have made my dots so thick. Okay, that top part is 14. Down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which makes sense. 3 times 3 is 9. Add those two together. There's the area of one shape and the area of another. What's 14 plus 9? 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, so the area of this green and yellow shape is 23 square feet. Okay, so explain how we did it. I'm going to turn my document camera a little bit. Okay, explain. How did we figure it out? Okay, the area, we could say I counted. Zoom out a bit. Counted the squares and the area of the yellow is 14 square feet right here. Square feet. The green is 9 square feet. Total, they are, I'm going to run out of space. Right here it is, right? 23 square feet, or I can write it like this, square feet. It's the same thing. Okay, that's how we figured it out. We counted them. 14 square feet, 9 square feet equals 23 square feet. Okay, so get your answer in there. Pause it and catch up with me if you need to. Okay, now we've got some share and show work. Okay, I'm going to get my pencil back out. All of you should all be using a pencil. Okay, these are a little bit tricky sometimes because if one way doesn't work, you might have to go back and split it another way, a different way. Okay, there's always two ways. All right, right here, let's see. I think it makes most sense to just cut off this little section right here. Okay, so I put my pencil line right there. Okay, you put your pencil line right there too. Oh, I get bored of the same color, you know me, right? Let's get some hot pink. Okay, my base of this little rectangle. Okay, my base is right here. Okay, and what would that be? What is that little pink line going to be? Okay, one thing that you can tell, boys and girls, is if you look at the side over here, this is a trick I haven't showed you. Okay, this over here is 9 millimeters. Okay, this part right here is 3 millimeters. Okay, and this part right here is 6. Okay, imagine with me that this little pink line right here follows my finger and it goes back to where my pencil line is. Okay, if this part of the square is 3 millimeters right here, that means this little pencil line I drew right there is 3 as well. So 3 millimeters plus 6 millimeters is 9 millimeters, the whole side. If it went right, 3 plus 6 equals 9. So this right here, this whole thing is 9, and this whole thing is 9. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I'm trying to figure out just this part right here, you can look up here too. This whole side is 12. This part of it is 6. That means this base right here is 6. Okay, does that make sense to you? So just this little pink base right here is 6. And this side right here is 3. So what's 6 times 3? The area of this one right here is 18. Okay, try to make that one a little bit bigger and thicker than your other number. Okay, this area of this rectangle is 18 millimeters squared. Okay, there's not much room to write that on this problem, is there? Okay, now let's look at the larger rectangle. The base right here is 6, and the height is 9. The whole height is 9. What's 6 times 9? 54. Okay, so this area right here is 54. So my small rectangle is 18. My big rectangle is 54. Sorry, it's crooked, isn't it? What's 18 plus 54? You need to add those up. The area of the smaller, the area of the larger rectangle, and then add them up. 8 plus 4 is 12. 2 stays, 1 goes up. Oops. 5 plus 1 is 7. So my area all together is 72. So 72, what's my unit? Millimeters squared. Okay. All right, let's try the next one over here. You'll get the hang of it. You'll get better as you go, okay? You just have to keep trying. Remember, your brain's growing when you're getting challenged, when it's getting hard. That means your brain is growing. All right, right here, okay? It's always best if you can cut the small section off. Just leave it as a small section. So I'm going to cut it this way. Okay, I want to keep it small. I could have cut it this way, but then I end up with like about the same size rectangles. It's easiest if you can get one little small section and one big section. Okay, that's usually the easiest way. Zoom in here, make it a little easier on your eyeballs. Okay, so let's look at this part right here. See this 2mi. What's mi? Anybody know? Mi stands for miles. They can't just make it an M because then it looks like meter. Okay, this is 2 miles. So maybe this is like a college campus or something, right? 2 miles. So this little side right here is 2. And this side right here is 10. So if I'm trying to figure out the area of base times height for this little rectangle, what's 2 times 10? Okay, this little rectangle would be 20 miles squared. Okay, I'm just going to put a 20 in there for right now so it doesn't get too crowded. Okay, now I need to look at my big rectangle. I have a 9 over here, but that 9 is this whole side. I don't want that whole side because it goes in between the two rectangles. I need something that is just this part. Okay, just this part. So look over here. My height for just this part is 7 miles, and my base for this part is 18. So 7 times 18. I don't know that in my head, and you don't either, okay? Get your turtle head. 18 times 7. It's a simple turtle head, one row. 8 times 7 is, what is that? 56, right? 6 stays, 5 goes up. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 more is 12. So this big rectangle is 126 miles squared. I'm still not done yet. Okay, I have to add them both together. Okay, so 126 plus 20 equals 146 mi, which is miles squared. Hopefully you're not buying that much carpet because you're going to go broke, right? Or turf, grass, that'll make you go broke too, okay? But if it's a place like a college campus, then that makes more sense, right? It's at some place that's really big. Maybe it's the Mall of America. I don't know. Okay, let's look at number 4. These problems, I always call them they're like castles. Doesn't look like a castle. Okay, don't draw it, make it look like a castle. It's just what it looks like. We're going to chop off this one and this one. So that way we get 2 smaller spaces and 1 big space, okay? Look at the base and the height, okay? You cannot use this 8 because the 8 goes in between both shapes, okay? We don't want that. We want just that one little section, okay? So let's look at just this little square section. The base is 4 and the height is 4. See this right here? It says 4 feet and it points over here. So this is 4 times 4. What's 4 times 4? 16. Okay, let's look at our other little castle square. The base is 4. The height is 4. What's 4 times 4? 16. Okay. Now we still need to find the area of this big guy down here. Okay, look at the base. Base is right here. The base is 16. Ooh, what's the height? The height of just this shape. Okay, again, I cannot use that 8. That 8 goes all the way from tippy top to the bottom. It goes in between the two shapes. I want just this blue line. How will I figure that out? Okay, well, Mrs. May, if this part right here is 4, then that means this part over here is 4. If this part is 4 and the whole thing is 8, what would this big fat blue line down here be? Okay, if 8 is from here to here, and this part is 4, that means this part down here is 4, isn't it? Does that make sense? Okay, because 4 plus 4 equals the 8 that goes the whole way. So I'm figuring out the area of just this long rectangle in here would be 16 times 4. Okay, we don't know that in our head, so we're going to do a small turtle head. 16 times 4. Pause me, guys. Figure it out and come back and see if we get the same thing. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 stays, 2 goes up. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 more is 6. So the area of this big guy down here is 64. Okay, now I need to find the total area, meaning I have to add those numbers together. Okay, 64 plus 16 plus 16. We have 3 numbers this time. 4 plus 6 is 10. 6 more is 16. 6 stays, 1 goes up. 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, so the total area of that whole castle, we'll call it, is 96 feet squared. Okay? All right, on your own. Okay, if you feel confident enough to try one without me, try one and come back and see what I get. Okay, if you want to do them with me today, do them with me. Okay, I'm going to zoom back in down here. Maybe I can go this way a little bit. Sorry, don't mean to make you sick. Okay, find the area of the combined rectangles is the direction, same as last time. Okay, I'm going to chop this little section off with my pencil. I think it's the best way to find an area of the little section and an area of the bigger section, okay? So let's see. Just in this little rectangle right here, what is my base? Just this little blue line. Okay, it's not 14. 14 goes all the way down here. Okay, we can't use that 14. I want just this little blue line. Okay, look up here. This right here has a 3 yards pointing to it. So that means this is 3 yards right here. And this height is 4. What's 3 times 4? The area of this little section is 12. Okay, now we need to find the area of this section. Again, the 14 goes all the way across here. Okay, so I can't use that. The base of this rectangle is right here. That rectangle is 11 across and 7 on the height. So it's 7 times 11. That's a fact you should know in your head. Okay, what 7 times 10 is 70. So 7 times 11, 7 more, is 77. Okay, those are my two areas, and I have to add them up. 77 plus 12. 7 plus 2 is 9. 7 plus 1 is 8. So the total area is 89 yards squared. Okay, does that make sense, boys and girls? If you understand this, try to do the next one on your own and come back and then watch it. See if we get the same answer. Okay, worst you could be is wrong and you go back and redo it with me. Okay, no big deal. Okay, I'm going to chop this part off so I end up with one little bitty guy and one big guy. Usually makes it easier. Start with the little one. Okay, 4 meters is pointing right here. Remember, M is meter. Okay, so this side right here, just this little part right here is 4 because it's pointing right to it. And the base is right here is 15. So 15 times 4. Okay, make yourself a little turtle head. 15 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 0 stays, 2 goes up. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 more is 6. So this area right here is 60 meters squared, right? Okay, now let's look at the bigger rectangle. Okay, what is its base? Okay, the base of this bigger rectangle right here is 30 meters, and the height is 16 meters. Ooh, that's a bigger multiplication problem, a bigger turtle head, right? So you do 30 times 16. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 3 is 18. Got the first row done. Cross off carried numbers, there are none. Draw a collar, lay an egg. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. Add together my partial products. Ooh, I'm running out of area. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. So my total area is 480 meters squared. Okay, hope these are getting a little bit easier as you practice them with me. Okay, I'm going to chop this off so I have a little rectangle and then a bigger one. Did it in pencil just in case I'm wrong. I can go back. Okay, the base of just this smaller one right here, what would that be? Just this smaller one. Okay, I can see again that this whole side across here is 20. Okay, this part is 10. So what would my blue line be? Imagine if this part right here, this 10 went back to right here. 10 plus 10 equals 20, right? So that 10 is talking about that part right there. Do you understand that? Okay, this part, this blue line I drew is 10. This 10's just kind of floating out here, and we weren't sure if he was this guy or that guy, right? It really should have like an arrow like this, right? So we know which side it's going to. So this smaller rectangle right here is 10 times 6. What's 10 times 6? 60, right? This smaller rectangle is 60. Okay, now looking at this guy down here, the base is 10, the height is 16. 10 times 16. Okay, there's a basic fact for that. 10 times anything is easy. 1 times 16 is 16. Add a 0. Okay, ooh, I showed you a shortcut. Hopefully you caught it yourself. So this is 160 is the area of the bigger rectangle. So total area, I need to take 160 plus 60. 6 plus 6 is 12. My total area is 220 centimeters squared. Okay? Oh, let's see. We're going to skip this hot one for right now. Okay? I might go back and do that one later. It's talking about the perimeter of those. I don't want to confuse you. We're just figuring out the area of these combined rectangles, okay? Okay, Mandy's garden. I like gardens. Pretty soon here I'll be out in the garden. The diagram shows the layout of Mandy's garden. The garden is the shape of combined rectangles. What is the area of the garden? Okay, so look at this. We have quite a few different rectangles here. Okay, we have this space right here. I'm going to cut this off just so I have a smaller rectangle right here. I can figure out this rectangle here. I can figure out this rectangle here. Okay, let's see. Would it be better to chop it this way or better to chop it this way? Okay, looking at the problem, I think it's probably better for this way, but you could figure it out both ways. Okay, this one, I think it's probably easier this way. Okay, let's start right here. Let's start with this tall guy right here. Let me zoom in. Focus. Hot pink, what do you think? Yeah. All right, this tall rectangle, the base is 1. The height is 7, right? 1 times 7 is 7. So that tall rectangle is 7. 1 times 7, base times height, is 7. Okay, let's look at this other small one over here. The base is 3. The height is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So that's the area of this small guy right here. Okay, now this big guy right here, we're going to have to think about this guy a little bit. Okay, the 3 that you see right here is this whole side. That 3 is the whole side. Okay, we're going to figure out which each of these sections are. Okay, that 3 is the whole side. We can't use that. If this is 1 right here, then that means this section right here is 1, right? So what does this section down here have to be? If this is 1, in total they equal 3. Okay, this part down here has to be 2. This part up here is 1, this is 2, and together they make 3. Okay, so I'm just going to cross this guy off because I don't really need him. What I need to know is that this part right here is 2. And now I need to figure out what this is, the whole length across. Okay, the whole length across. Okay, if this part right here, what is this part? Look up here. If it's 1 up here, that means it's 1 right here, right? Okay, now from here to right here, I can imagine this little rectangle right here. If this is 5, then this is 5, right? And this part right here, I don't know yet. Okay, but if you look up here, if this is 3, then this is 3. So what's 1 plus 5 plus 3? 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So this whole pink line right here is 9. So this big rectangle is 9 times 2, which is what? 18. Ooh, that was a little bit of work, wasn't it? Okay. If you need to, pause it. Go back and watch me do that problem again. Okay. That's the handy part about this. Okay. 18, adding my areas, plus 7 plus 3. Okay. I know 7 plus 3 right here is 10. Plus 8 more is 18. 8 stays, 1 goes up. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the total area is 28 feet squared. Does that make sense? There's a lot of work. Okay, but we figured it out. Okay, so the area of the garden down here, so the area of the garden is 28 feet squared. All right, test prep with the star down here. Miss Green hired a contractor, okay, a person who fixes houses, to remodel her house. What could the contractor use the area formula to find? Okay, let's pretend we're all contractors. Okay, which way could he, what thing in the house would he use to find area? Okay, the amount of fencing to put about in the backyard. Fencing, is that a clue word for area? Okay, what did we say on that? What's our little saying? Here's my backyard. Here's my fence. Okay, we say area is, perimeter is where the fence goes. Area is where the grass grows, right? The perimeter is the fence. Okay, the perimeter is the fence. The area is where the grass grows, all of this on the inside. So fencing, would that be area? No, fencing is a perimeter word. The amount of floor the carpeting should cover. Okay, there's a clue word right here. There's a clue word of carpeting and there's a clue word of cover. Okay, imagine if my backyard were carpeted. Okay, the carpet would be all this green space. Would that be an area problem? Okay, maybe. Let's look at C, the amount of water needed to fill the pool. Ooh, that's a tricky one. Okay, if you think about water filling something, okay, water is, oh boy. Okay, if water is like a 3D thing, right? Filling a pool is like a 3D. Okay, so that would be volume. That's kind of a trick question. Okay, that would be base times height times the width. Okay, that's a 5th grade question right there. That's a tricky one. This one would be volume because it's 3D. Okay, so it can't be that. Okay, and D, the amount of wallpaper border to put around the ceiling. Okay, if it were just regular wallpaper, that'd be an area problem. But this says wallpaper border to go around the ceiling. Okay, if you have wallpaper border on your wall, pretend like this is a wall. It only goes across the top right here. Put like some pretty apples or something on there, right? Okay, border. Border is around the edge. Border is a perimeter clue word, right? So which one is our area clue word? Okay, carpeting and cover. Okay, these are our area words. So we're going to stick with B. Okay? All right, make sure you say it a lot of times so you remember it. Perimeter is where the fence goes. Area is where the grass grows. Okay? Make sure you guys do your homework page and text it to me on Remind, please. Good job, guys. Thank you.